Good afternoon. You are on to NTA Nationwide, and my name is Femi Johnson. Thanks for joining us. Acting President Professor Yemi Osinbajo has identified hatred as the root cause of the various religious crises in the country. The acting president made the observation at the 14th Biennial Conference of the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria PFN holding in Edo State. Good luck in 9 reports.
The acting president, who was received on arrival at the Benin airport by the state governor Gordon Obaseki and some top government functionaries, arrived the open field of the University Teaching Hospital, venue of the event, amidst cheers. He made a chronicle presentation of the religious crisis the country had witnessed from 1970 to date, attributing the inability of government to address the issue to the failure on the part of the criminal justice system. While assuring Nigerians of the resolve of the present administration to address the situation, Professor Osinbajo urged Nigerians to allow the love of God to be their driving force. He called on Christians not to be deterred by the prevailing situation in their quest to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ, which is their reason for existence.
Our mandate to all, without exception, is to preach the love of Jesus Christ. Many times, when we preach that love of Jesus Christ, people will spit at us, people will hurt us, many will die even doing this. But this is the burden of our faith. This is the burden of the gospel. And we wear that burden proudly. We wear it with courage. We wear it with conviction, knowing that Jesus Christ so loved the world.
The Edo State Governor Gordon Obaseki and the President, Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, Reverend Felix Omobude, in their separate remarks, sued for religious tolerance among Nigerians.
The many social scourges that we face as a society can be eliminated if we express our faith responsibly and if government partners with religious bodies. I assure you that my government is committed to this ideal.
Pentecostals are firmly at the forefront of preaching the gospel, doing great exploits in the name of Jesus Christ, and asserting the place of the church in our nation.
Pastor Enoch Adeboye of the Redeemed Christian Church of God approached the theme of the conference from glory to glory, from spiritual, physical, and material perspective. Prayers were offered for the enthronement of peace in the country. The conference ends on Thursday. In Benin, I am Goodluck Inaini, NTA News.
And to Health Matters, Senate Committee on Health has reiterated its resolve to legislate towards improving healthcare delivery system in the country. Chairman of the committee, Senator Lanrewaju Teju, should give this indication at the 2017 budget defense by departments and agencies of the Ministry of Health. National Assembly correspondent Waziri Zeyanu reports.
Senator Lanrewaju Teju lamented Nigeria's continuous failure to meet minimum requirement of allocating 15% of annual budget to health, despite being signatory to the 2001 African Union Abuja Declaration. He said it is only through the budget processes, oversight and defense that health status of average Nigerians can be strengthened.
We all know that in Nigeria we have about 1,500 children that die every day because of severe acute malnutrition. Yet we budgeted 2.4 million naira last year.
Representative of Ministry of Health and its agencies had earlier given sectoral breakdown of allocations of their establishments. The sitting of the Committee on Works on the 2017 Budget Defense emphasized need for good working relationship and budget making and implementation through harmonious working relationship between executive and the legislature to yield optimal results in the country's development agenda. Chairman of the committee, Senator Kabiru Gaya, stated this at the 2017 Budget Defense.
We need to reclaim our national road network from its dilapidation state and once again elevate it to a viable state where it can help promote national economic growth and prosperity.
Agencies that appeared before the Science and Technology Committee also defended allocations made to their various organizations and plans for implementation.
Notwithstanding the current situation in the country, the deployment of science, technology and innovation and its integration in national socio-economic development processes must be accorded the highest priority.
We need to keep our ministry guidelines to defend certain things, particularly the level of performance of 216 projects, and to see where there are shortcomings, where there are problems.
Outside budget defense, Democracy Support and Election Coordination Group has visited the Senate President Bukola Saraki to solicit for collaborative working relationship with National Assembly.
We are trying to develop this special relationship with some countries in the world. By the way, we established this relationship with Ukraine, Moldova, Georgia, Tunisia, Myanmar, Peru, and now we are so happy to have this special relationship with Nigeria.
Also use this opportunity to thank you and commend you for the role played in 2015. It was an historic event for us in this country. It will never be forgotten. The first time we've been able to transfer power from one party to the other and in a peaceful manner.
In the meantime, screening of the 46 non-carrier ambassadorial nominees by the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs has commenced Tuesday and is still ongoing. From the National Assembly, Waziri Zayan, NTA News.
The Edo State Governor, Godwin Obaseki, has signed a 2017 appropriation bill of 153 billion naira into law. The budget, christened Budget of Consolidation and Property, had about 3 billion naira increase, representing 0.1% over the estimate presented to the House of Assembly. Goodluck Enaini reports.
10th of December 2016, Governor Godwin Obaseki presented a budget proposal of 150 billion naira to the State Assembly for speedy consideration. 1 month and 3 weeks after, the budget has been presented to the governor for his assent. Thanking the lawmakers for the speedy consideration of the budget, Governor Obaseki said, signing of the appropriation bill into law will fast-track the implementation of the administration's policies. He said government has embarked on initiative to reposition the state for economic advancement in the areas of agriculture, vocational and technical education, health and commerce, stressing that with the budget in place, the states will witness tremendous advancement. He said government will devote more attention to the repositioning of the civil service and urged the people to keep faith with his administration.
I want to thank you for the speed and the diligence with which you worked on this and passed these bills. A budget which will help us consolidate the progress we've made in the last 8 years and also lead to the prosperity of our people and our state.
The Speaker of the Edo State House of Assembly, Mr. Justin Okonobo, expressed optimism on the workability of the budget and assured the governor of the support of the legislature. The chairman House Committee on Appropriation and Project Monitoring, Mr. Damian Lawani, explained the rationale behind the budget increment.
The governor presented 150 and now we have passed about 153. In the course of defense, we discovered that some of the ministries even needed more than what they asked for. Like in health, they are going to take new workers for the new hospitals. They are going to bring in new equipment that requires new personnel to handle them, and that will require more staff, that will require more funding to pay them, that will require a lot of funding to even buy the machines in place.
The lawmaker, however, assured the citizens of the state of the readiness of the House to ensure the executive work in line with the provisions of the budget. In Benin, I am Goodluck Enaini, NTA News.
The House had a committee on review of pump price of petrol has asked for more committed cooperation between the Nigerian Navy and Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NEMASA, for adequate protection of oil vessels. This came to the fore at a meeting of the committee with Central Bank and other stakeholders in the oil sector. National Assembly correspondent Ifeanyi Izumba has more.
chairman said insecurity is a major impediment for most oil vessels to berth in Nigerian ports.
Nigerians are also paying 0.84, that's 84 kobo on every liter for services of MPA. And MPA is expected to always support and dredge the sea so that it can be deep enough for some of these large vessels to come in. And you see, this is not there. So there's a double taxation.
The Director of Maritime Services said high charges in Nigerian ports are the reason why oil marketers prefer to patronize neighboring countries' port. However, the Minister of State for Petroleum, Ibe Kachiku, added that there is no free oil zone in Lagos area, but there is in Lome.
Now we're going out to identify repairing our refineries, get individuals who can build what we call co-location refineries on the same platforms where our refineries are, and identifying some key specific modular refineries backed up by foreign investment and working with state governments on those. Hopefully, a lot of that can be in Niger Delta, and that will help some of the restiveness that you see.
In 2013-2014, what central bank gets from all the federal government sale of crude and so on that accrues to federal government is about $3 billion a month. Central bank in the interbank market was only a marginal player. What we sell into the interbank market was just about 30%.
The committee emphasized that at the end of the exercise, those agencies that are going by the rules will be commended, while those shortchanging the country will be exposed. From the National Assembly, Ifeanyi Izumba, NT News.
Still on assembly matters, the National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure, NASENI, is an agency set up by the federal government to produce homegrown technologies. Since its establishment in 1992, Research Institute has produced a number of research results yearning for commercialization. House Committee Chairman Benila, impressed by the state of technologies by the Institute, wonders why the products cannot be replicated in great quantity for the benefit of Nigerians. Let's join science correspondent Kiran Umayo for details.
NASENI has developed technologies such as 7.5 kilowatt solar energy facility, propeller turbines power generation technology, 35 kilowatt cross-flow small hydro turbine, 5 kilowatt kinetic hydro turbine facility, first made in Nigeria tricycle and motorcycle, nano science and nano medical facilities. These technologies, including rotary furnace manufacturing technology, transformer integrated cassava flour manufacturing facility, energy-saving bulb technology, and multi-grain threshing machine facility, and the voting machine, all are lying on the shelves of NASENI, as not much has been done to commercialize them. Chairman House Committee on Science and Technology, Benila, says it is not possible to achieve economic development, job creation, and skills development without an efficient engineering and product development institute like NASENI.
We want to see more activity, and I think what we are seeing is it tells us that we need to put more in that, more effort in that regard. We need to talk to see how we can also expand the scope of what we're doing.
She promised to take up the issue of funding with Budget Office to critically review the funding of NASENI and similar institutes under the Ministry of Science and Technology. Director General of NASENI, Professor Mohammed Sani Haruna, noted that successful collection of statutory levy will reduce total dependency of NASENI on government funding.
In order to ensure collaboration, we used to call private sector to come and take our products, or we sell the technology to them. In fact, we even innovated a way in which we would commence doing the research and development from day one with the private sector, so that the output product is exactly according to their specification.
The nation to successfully make its own technology-based products, experts believe there must be a synergy between the research institute, the manufacturing sector, and government for easy transition of prototypes from laboratory to the marketplace. Kirian Umayo, NTA News.
Proffering lasting solutions to challenges of steady and sustained power generation, transmission and distribution was the focus at the stakeholders' interactive dialogue in Abuja National Assembly correspondent Dennis Adegunloye reports that key players in the sector, the leadership of the National Assembly, and also the Minister of Power Works and Housing were present.
Describing the challenges in the sector as man-made, the Senate President Bukola Saraki urges that the dialogue is just not another case of analysis and ultimately non-implementation of solutions.
I'm sure that with the capacity and level of human resources, the brains that we have, we can get ourselves out of this mess.
Speaker, House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara touched on the need for a critical assessment of legislations and enactment of new laws to regulate the sector.
Let me urge that the progress in this area cannot be automatic. And those who think progress is inevitable without action will be dwelling in the realm of alternative facts.
Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, emphasized that privatization of the sector is the way to go and enumerated critical areas to examine.
There is, of course, lack of gas. I think also this is one way where you can exert your energies and your powers to make legislation that become more investor-friendly.
Goodwill messages came from notable persons who called for focus and meaningful action.
In our style of doing things, we are not into rhetorics. We talk about issues, solutions, and how to actualize the solution.
The workshop is tagged the Nigerian Power Challenge, a legislative intervention. A communique is expected to be drawn up with specific plans of action backed up by legislation to pave the way for a new and positive chapter in power supply in the country. In Abuja, Dennis Adegunloye, NTA News.
In another development, economic experts have commended the federal government's approval for a revised national policy that will entrench an efficient tax system to grow the nation's gross domestic products. This was part of the submissions on NTA's Current Affairs program. Tuesday Live, Talatu Ezerike reports.
Good road network, houses and other infrastructure, as well as quality services are the desire of citizens from government that is largely dependent on taxation, a global practice for revenue generation. There are, however, hindrances occasioned by corruption, waivers, low taxation, thefting, evasion, and too much concentration on a particular segment of the society when it comes to payment of tax. The approved new tax policy that is holistic with sanctions to guarantee an enabling environment for voluntary tax payment is one strategy the present administration has adopted to deal with the issue.
Our tax system will work if there is population there.
Dele Belgore is charged alongside former Minister of National Planning, Professor Abubakar Suleiman. They are facing a 5-count charge preferred against them by the EFCC. When the charges were read and plea taken, they pleaded not guilty. EFCC is accusing them of conspiring and directly taking possession of the sum of 450 million naira in cash payment, which is in excess of what the law authorizes and without going through a financial institution. The money was said to have been paid to one share
of offering advice to his administration under the 4th Strategic 2012 to 2025 Lagos State Development Plan pillars of economic development, infrastructural development, social development and security, as well as sustainable development.
Lagos City State, as one of the fastest growing cities in the world, has a vision of becoming Africa's modern mega city and global economic and financial hub that is safe.
And a positive partnership that would help the state address the challenges of urban planning, transport gridlock, environment and modern infrastructure.
This is just signifying one of our modest achievements that we have actually achieved in the last 20 months. For the very first time, a state in the country, Lagos is being admitted as one of those 100 resilient cities across the world.
president of 100 Resilient Cities, Michael Bekowitz, said out of the over 1,000 applications received,
in a more comprehensive way, and so we discussed that possibility.
Talk about the bilateral discussions on what we have been doing in the past in terms of the TSAD, exchange programs, and certain other issues that relate to both countries.
The High Commissioner commended the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for the role played in the prompt release of the kidnapped Deputy High Commissioner, Major General Cloud Nelson Williams. Meanwhile, the Minister of State, Foreign Affairs, Khadija Abba Ibrahim, also met with Ambassador of the Sahrawi Republic on bilateral relations. The Minister of State, Foreign Affairs, Khadija Abba Ibrahim, says a hitch-free Hajj and Umrah is possible when the National Hajj Commission is domiciled in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. This will take care of recurrence of consular and visa matters during the exercise. The minister said this in a meeting with a committee in Nigeria-Saudi Arabia Parliamentary Friendship and Hajj Affairs in Abuja. Gabriel Odo has more.
Bilateral ties
with the media shortly after a closed-down meeting with the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Diaspora, Abike Dabiri-Erewa, in his office. Ugechi Paul was there.
Going memory lane, the South African representative recalled the invaluable support of Nigeria in the fight against the apartheid regime in that country, which he said is one in a long list of bilateral contributions between both countries. As long-term trade partners, he said the balance of trade stood at about 55 billion rand, with better chances for improvement. He admitted, most regrettably, that recent negative narratives bedeviling the time-tested relationship between both countries
on schemes for reintegration of those people, on social safety nets that we can support.
We want to continue to work with other agencies to continue to spread the awareness and the information that is usually not greener out there.
Highlighting the perils of irregular migration, they called on the government to, apart from ensuring a viable economy, give the people skills and ensure everyone gets an identity for effective monitoring.
It's a commitment by ECOWAS countries to change our ECOWAS travel document to biometric travel document, so that a document given to you in your passport, it will be the same with your biometric passport.
We need to work on reintegration, and also one of the suggestions we have is working with the states.
When things like ignorance, issues of education, that is accessibility to education, is provided to the people, employment is provided for, to the people, it makes it easier for people to say, no, we need to sit down and help in developing this country.
The discussants stressed the need for a meaningful collaboration of all stakeholders globally to tackle the challenge of irregular migration. In Abuja, Abdulmalik Adio, NTA News.
You can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. And you're still on to NTA Nationwide, renewed impetus on girl-child education in Borno. These and more are after these messages. Stay tuned.
From what we have seen, we have the capacity which we can rapidly develop or feed in ourselves. If we don't import rice, we stop importing corn and other grains, Nigeria will have plenty of money to invest into developing industries, especially manufacturing, textiles and so on, and develop iron and steel, and complement the infrastructure development. So really, the opportunities are virtually limitless, and we are very, very aware of this, and we are prepared to exploit it to the fullest.
you can hold that dream occasion. Horizon Caterers will provide answers to all your catering questions. Exquisite hall designs, mouth-watering and nourishing local and continental cuisine, suitable for all types of ceremonies, including weddings, AGMs, business luncheon, cocktails. Name it, we can bring it. Our chefs and executive waiters give your guests that unforgettable experience in service. Our service covers all states of the Federation. Call us today to book your occasions. 0805 502 9637, 0803 450 9726, 0909 9708 111. Horizon Caterers. Experience catering beyond the horizon.
Chairman of all chairmen. Oh, let me wash your hand for you. Don't worry. Let me take toothpick and. Hey. According to Professor, tranquilizer.
I am disappointed, aghast, crestfallen, and vanquished at your shameful display.
This week on your award-winning comedy series, Professor John Bull, starring Kanayo Okanayo, Mercy Johnson, Queen Wokoye, Yomi Fash Lanso, Ogus Baba.
I'd like to see Mr. Udo Eto.
I hear you now, but find me something.
Are you mad?
Go.
Goodness, August, you show and your shit.
Oh.
Very nice man, generous.
Okay, anything for the guests. Maybe feature or something.
Happy weekend, sir. Thank you.
Today is Wednesday.
Professor John Bull, this Tuesday and Friday, 8:30 to 9 p.m. on NTA Network, International, and Star Times.
I'm finished. Who finished you?
Find me something. Find me something.
The box will detect services. To activate your digital TV pass, SMS your unique ID number to 090 999 66669. Then send. Or call the toll-free line 080 0388 7277. Or the paid line 070 0388 7277. And follow the instructions using your mobile phone. Your box will receive entitlement refresh and should start showing all the TV channels. Free TV, brought to you by NBC.
Just still on to NTA Nationwide, and Borno State government says it will not hesitate to prosecute parents who withdraw their daughters from school for marriage. Governor Kashim Shettima stated this when he visited some schools across the local government areas of the state. Mohammed Gouni reports.
Governor Kashim Shettima has at different fora emphasized the need to invest in the education sector as the future of the nation depends on sound and functional education system. He restated his administration's commitment to reposition the sector in the post-insurgency rebuilding process with construction of new classrooms and provision of modern teaching facilities and rehabilitation of existing ones. Those enrolled at primary and junior secondary schools are given 1 square meal in addition to free uniform and books, while staff quarters are constructed. The government also charged village and ward heads to mobilize subjects on school enrollment in their various domains or risks being dethroned.
We leave no stone unturned to ensure provide a working space, a workspace of the 21st century for our daughters across the length and breadth of the state.
Governor Shettima during the visit inspected drip irrigation project meant to empower returning IDPs in Kandiga and Kaga local government, which is expected to enable them generate revenue for family sustenance. Also inspected was the newly renovated Benishek General Hospital, as well as industrial hub being constructed in Maiduguri under the post-insurgency economic recovery program. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
NTA Maiduguri Zonal Network Center has been commended for operating effectively in an environment threatened by unwholesome activities of Boko Haram insurgents, who led to loss of lives and property in the last 6 years. Shehu of Borno gave the commendation when the Director General of Nigerian Television Authority, Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, paid him homage at his palace in Maiduguri. Naomi Abaku reports.
Briefing the DGNTA, the royal father described Boko Haram incidents in Borno over the years as barbaric, un-Islamic and unacceptable to any religion. Historically, he noted, Kanem Borno Empire existed for 1,000 years, having played a vital role in trans-Sahara trades and known as the home of peace for decades. The Sheikh also explained that due to accommodating and hospitable nature of the people of Borno, most of the crisis experienced were initiated and injected into the state by non-indigenous. DG NTA Yakubu Ibn Muhammad, while commiserating with the Sheikh and the people of Borno, expressed delight over the relative peace being enjoyed and prayed for the peace to be sustained, as well as the state to thrive like it did in good times.
I have chosen to come to Maiduguri because of the importance of the zonal center here in Maiduguri, taking into account the journey that has brought Borno State in general and Maiduguri in particular to where we are today.
He assured the royal father that NTA will key into the federal and state government's effort towards reconstruction, rehabilitation and reconciliation process now that peace has come to stay in Borno. NTA Maiduguri Zonal Director Lawan Omar Lalo thanked the Shehu for the warm reception accorded the DJ and his entourage. In Maiduguri, Naomi Aboku, NTA News.
In another development, Nasarawa State government is to construct the deplorable NTA Lafia Road, among other roads in the state, before the onset of rainy season this year. Governor Maru Tanko Almakura said this when he led a team of engineers and contractors handling the project of feasibility studies to NTA Lafia Road. Joshua Jito reports.
Road constructions across Nasarawa State is one cardinal project of the state government under its urban renewal program to link rural communities as well as provide network of roads. But one road that is in dire need of attention is the deplorable NTA Lafia Road, which since the establishment of the station over 15 years ago has remained a nightmare to staff of the station and other commuters plying the road. However, the recent visit of the Director General of NTA, Yakubu Ibn Muhammad, to Governor Umaru Tanko Almakura in Lafia brought respite to staff of NTA Lafia as the deplorable state of the road was brought to the attention of the state government, the request which was granted.
And I assure you, before the end of this year, the road between the Amba Bridge and the television station will be tarred. Thank you very much.
Already, the state government has approved the contract for the construction of NTA Lafia Road to be delivered before the onset of the rainy season. During his unscheduled visit to NTA Lafia, Governor Umaru Tanko Almakura commended NTA for professionalism in television broadcasting and said the state government will continue to support NTA Lafia in order to provide enabling environment for the station to discharge its responsibilities to the people of the state.
So we will embark on the project very, very soon. And by God's grace, the rainy season, the upcoming rainy season will not get to away.
And away from road construction, market development is another sector that Nasarawa State government is focusing on, with the construction and remodeling of more markets across the state. This is to promote small and medium-scale enterprises as well as prevent outbreak of fire disasters. In Lafia, Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
And for the news making rounds in Plateau State, let's now join Femi Cheat in our Just Network Center. She is ready. Take it away.
Welcome to Jos. Authorities of the Plateau State Water Board have warned illegal miners to stay clear of the Lamingo Dam in Jos or face stiff sanctions. The warning follows an incident in which a suspected illegal miner allegedly plunged into Lamingo Dam on citing the security. Ben Mitu reports.
Illegal mining activities have been going on here for long. The State Water Board says all attempts to stop this illegality were not successful. Investigation, however, reveals that it was part of the efforts by security men to send away the illegal miners that a man ran into the dam. This man is the official security of Water Board, who says he saw it happen but could not help.
Police suka zo yan patrol
It happened at 7:30 in the morning yesterday when security men came and the miners ran away. He fell into the dam and they attempted to save his life, but it was not possible.
Authorities of the board insist that the mining activities around the dam negatively affect the quality and purity of the water.
The dam structure itself is being weakened, so it is affecting the dam structure, the quantity of the water itself, and the quality of the water, which is impacting so much in the treatment regime of this water in order to give wholesome water to the people to drink.
Efforts, the authorities say, will be intensified to protect the dam against harmful human activities that threaten the sanity of the water.
24-hour surveillance is going to be done in this place. And of course, armed people are going to do this one this time around, not just our civilian security.
Meanwhile, people that gathered around the dam looked helplessly until this young man came, and minutes later, he brought out the corpse. Attempt by men of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps to take the corpse was vehemently resisted by the miners. At the time of filing in this report, the identity of the corpse could not be ascertained. In Jos, Ben Mitu, NTA News.
In its efforts at finding lasting solutions to cases of cultism and other social vices in Nigerian campuses, the National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, University of Jos chapter, has organized a one-day sensitization program with theme Restoring Sanity on Campus for tertiary institutions in Plateau and neighboring states. Bilkisu Nuhu reports.
The event addressed core issues such as cultism and violence on campuses, cybercrime, indecent dressing, sexual harassment, insecurity, as well as substance abuse.
Now, sanity goes in making sure we get back our lost morals and values, just like I earlier said. So I intend and I believe that after this program going around the nation, we will have a vibrant youth that will actually agitate for its right. And NANS, for once again, will return back to be the strongest pressure group in the country.
The Deputy Governor, Professor Soniti Oden, represented by one of his senior special assistants, Nuhu Dagan, said these are contemporary issues that affect students in their learning environment.
Well, over time, I've realized that leaders in the society are groomed from the university. And so whatever conduct you developed in the university, you are likely to carry it to the larger society.
In their separate remarks, other stakeholders appealed to students to shun social vices on campus as they x-rayed the harmful effects this could have on them.
Or some clothes we should wear in the summer when it's very hot. You're wearing it when it's cold. It's inappropriate.
When you are on drugs, you do things you would not normally do.
Commander Operation Safe Haven, Major General Rogers Nicholas, in a goodwill message, urged the students to always be mindful of their activities on campus as the future of the country lies on them. In Jos, Bilkisu Nuhu, NTA News.
And as how far we can go with Jos Network Center to address the continued problem of cattle rustling and grazing, the Federal Capital Territory Minister, Mohammed Musa Bello, has inaugurated a 22-member committee to profile ways of curtailing the ugly trend. Mitari has more.
Shows that Nigeria has about 17 million cattle, 41 million sheep, and 7.2 million goats. These statistics has placed Nigeria as the second country in Africa in terms of population of livestock. But this feat is being threatened by some challenges, with cattle rustling topmost, leading to communal clashes that have taken a lot of lives.
We used to hear about cattle wrestling in other African countries.
Barrister Joel Aninge, chairman Panda Traditional Council, says he was a victim of cattle rustling.
In 2013, when 310 of my cattle were rustled.
Rustling is essentially a stealing.
Experts in the agricultural sector are collaborating with their counterparts from Austria to bring a lasting solution to the challenge. They suggested animal tagging and data entry system as permanent solution to the problem.
First of all, we will try to register the holdings and the farmers.
location of the farmers, and basic data, how many animals do they have. Then somebody will pick up all the information on a very, very simple form on a small tablet or on telephone.
And if you have a satellite system that actually connects all these tags, then it's possible for you to track an animal that has moved from one location to another.
They are the first to identify.
The co-initiator of the project, Umobi George, said Edo State has embraced the project.
Through a proposal, and they looked at it and say, yes, we are sure that this can help us in our state.
Cattle rustling has been a major challenge facing the agricultural sector in Nigeria, and government has been doing its best to put an end to the challenge. Adebola, Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
On Global Tidbits, members of parliament in Somalia elect new president at the Mogadishu aircraft hangar amid heavy security. The indirect vote will decide whether Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud will serve a second term, and Romanian government survives no confidence vote. For more reports on Global Tidbits, let's join Ronke Kolawole.
In South Africa, President Jacob Zuma has ordered the deployment of about 440 troops to the parliament to maintain law and order as he prepares for the annual State of the Nation address on Thursday. Opposition parties condemned the action, describing it as declaration of war. In Russia, opposition leader Navalny has been found guilty of embezzlement in relation to a timber firm, and the court gave him a 5-year suspended prison sentence and 500,000 rubles fine. Navalny, who denied the charge, said the ruling was an attempt to block his presidential ambition in 2018. In other news, U.S. President Donald Trump and his Turkish counterpart Recep Erdogan have jointly agreed to act against Islamic State in areas controlled by the terrorists in Syria. Refugee crisis was another issue discussed and agreed upon in the telephone conversation. In Yemen, almost 3.3 million people, including 2.1 million children, are suffering from acute malnutrition, which has challenged the United Nations to launch $2.1 billion appeal fund to provide life-saving assistance to 12 million people in the war-torn country under the threat of famine. For Global Tidbits, Ronke Kolawole, NTA News.
And to sports now, Team Nigeria set to depart for Togo ahead of Africa Under-21 Beach Volleyball World Cup qualifier. Also, International Association of Athletics Federation upholds ban on Russian athletes. Kenne Magbudike brings us details on Sports Update.